Hello book lovers, the sun is up, which means it's time for the second part of my May wrap-up. Frank McCourt's Angela's Ashes. Frank McCourt's memoir of his childhood in Brooklyn, New York and Limerick, Ireland is set during the 30s and the 40s and is what you probably might be expecting. A family on the brink of starvation, the strong and resourceful mother, the father who drinks his wages away, and the children who want to help the family any way they can. If you're in the mood for something bleak and depressing, this one here is a fine specimen of unbelievable sadness. Moving on to Hugh Howey's Sand. First of all, I want to state that I'm a huge fan of Howey's science fiction series Wool. This was not the case for Sand, which also takes place in a dystopian world where everything's covered in sand. It's the story of four siblings who, after their father's abandonment, are left to fend for themselves as best as they can. Now, I can't believe I'm about to utter this, but I just didn't care. It was not bad per se, which would have been something. It was just, indifferent. Sorry. Knut Hamsun's Mysteries. Knut Hamsun's novel takes place in a small town on the coast of Norway that is shaken by the arrival of a mysterious stranger, Johan Nagel, whose eccentricity personified. He's unpredictable, no one is certain of his past, his actions are confusing. I was more than intrigued at first, but as the story progressed, it just didn't make sense, unless if this is what the title's about, is it? Shirley Jackson's The Lottery and Other Stories. Oh my god, mind blown. 24 short stories of utter brilliance. The stories are horrifying and they don't even include ghosts, zombies, murderers and the like. No. They deal with normal, everyday people leading their normal, everyday lives, and this is the thing that gets you. Unsettling, provoking, and extremely entertaining. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot. This non-fiction book tells the story of Henrietta Lacks, a poor black tobacco farmer whose cervical cancer cells were used by scientists to develop the polio vaccine, cloning, gene mapping, and many more. The thing is that nobody asked for her permission. Mind you, she was a poor black woman in the 50s, and even her family found out about the cell business almost 25 years after her death. A very interesting story which makes you ponder about ethics in correlation with science. Redeployment by Phil Clay, another collection of short stories for this month, but these deal with a completely different subject. The principal theme is the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the experiences of the soldiers and veterans during that gruesome period and their subsequent return home. This was not an enjoyable read, and how could it be? But if you want to find out more about what might go on in a soldier's head during wartime, then you should give it a go. Saga Volume 1. I hadn't read a graphic novel in such a long time, and this was the perfect boost to get me going once again. Two soldiers in opposing armies during an interstellar war fall in love, have a baby, and are consequently being haunted by both sides. It's crazy, it's sexy, it's funny, it's surprisingly romantic, and basically it's awesome. The Tortoise and the Hare by Elizabeth Jenkins. Evelyn Gresham, a handsome and successful barrister in his early 50s, is married to Imogen, a younger, beautiful and caring wife. They have an 11-year-old son who's a spitting image of his father and live in a beautiful house in the country. When Evelyn strikes up a friendship with her neighbor Blanche, whose everything Imogen is not, bulky, plain, with no sense of style, but also one who hunts, fishes, rides, drives her own Rolls-Royce, and manages her own business, their marriage begins to crumble. This was a fascinating read about the challenging complexities of a marriage, and actually made me wonder in the end who was the tortoise and who the hare. Thank you for watching. See you in a few days with a new wrap-up.